Hello, good morning student. In the subject of Pharmachemistry 1, after the introduction, today we are going to discuss about limit tests. There are the contents what we have to study under the introduction of the limit test. Here we see the definition of limit test, what are various sources of the impurity and assay which are commonly found to impurity preparation. Importance of limit test in the pharmaceuticals, limit test for chloride, limit test for sulfate, limit test for arsenic, limit test for lead, and limit test for heavy metals. Now, impure chemical compound. The impure chemical compound is a compound which have impure if it is having a foreign matter, that is called impurities. The pure chemical compound referred as a compound having no foreign matter like impurity. The chemical purity means freedom from the foreign matters. Analytically, 100% of the pure substance are not available. Traces of impurity must be present. Either they are desirable or undesirable material which are present in the pharmaceutical substances. Impurity means undesired particles. What is impurity? Any material that affect the purity of the material of interest or the presence of impurity in pharmaceutical substances which may produce the toxic effect which shows on the body and lower down the active strength of the pharmaceutical substances. Impurities commonly in chemical substance include small quantity of chloride, sulfate, arsenic, iron and lead. So to overcome all these chemical substances means we need a pure substance, then we go for a limit test for these substances. Impurities having toxic effect on the body and it will show unpleasant reaction when present beyond certain limits. For example, lead and arsenic salt. The impurity which are able to make substance incompatible with the other substance, and if these are present beyond the limit, they will affect the storage condition of the pharmaceutical. These impurities sometimes are harmful, but if present beyond the limit, they will lower the active strength of the medicinal compound. Example for this, the sodium salt in potassium salt. These impurities may bring a technical difficulty in the use of substance. These impurities like taste, odor, color or appearance can be easily detected by sense, make substance hygienic or unaesthetic. Example for this is the sodium chloride become damp because of presence of traces of the magnesium salts. Similarly, the phenolic impurity in sodium salicylate alter the odor of this compound. In this part, we discuss various sources of impurity in the pharmaceutical. Type and amount of impurity present in the chemical or pharmaceutical substance depend upon several factors like the raw material. The raw material which is used in the manufacturing. Reagents, reagents used in the manufacturing process. Method, process which are used in manufacturing, chemical process and atmospheric contamination during the manufacturing of process. Apart from above, the other point like intermediate products, defects, manufacturing hazards, inadequate storage conditions, decomposition of the product during storation, and accidental substitution or deliberate adulteration with spurious or useless material. The raw material which used during the manufacturing, the impurities are associated with these chemicals may carried through manufacturing process and contaminate the final product. Example for this, when the rock salt, in that the traces like calcium sulfate and the magnesium chloride. The rock salt contains small amount of calcium sulfate and magnesium chloride in traces. The sodium chloride prepared from this source will contain trace of calcium and magnesium. Impurities like arsenic, lead, heavy metal are present in the raw material, hence are found in those substances. So it is a necessary to use pure chemical and substance as raw material in the manufacturing processes. The copper sulfate may be prepared by the action of sulfuric acid on copper turnings. Means when we make copper sulfate, the coppers react with the sulfuric acid, it will form the copper sulfate, and the copper turnings are known as iron and arsenic impurities. If these impurities are present in large quantity in raw material, they may enter the final product. Due to this, the limit of tolerance for arsenic as impurity should not be more than 8 parts per million in copper sulfate. So, it prescribes a limit of iron as impurity for the copper turnings. Reagent used in the manufacturing process. The reagent which used in the manufacturing process are not completely removed by washing. These may find entry into the final product. The example for this, when ammoniated mercury prepared by adding a solution of mercuric chloride to dilute ammonia solution. The presence of, as we see, the ammoniated mercury in the form of precipitate. The precipitate of ammoniated mercury precipitate is washed with cold water to remove ammonium hydroxide. If it is not removed completely by washing with water, the final product may be contain a ammonium hydroxide as the impurity. The method or process which are used in the manufacturing, these are many drugs and chemicals like organic, these are manufactured from different type of the raw material by using different method and process. Some impurities are incorporated into material during manufacturing process. Type and amount of impurity present in the drug or present in the chemical, the limit is varied. certain drugs, a multiple step synthesis procedure used, which may cause some intermediate compound. Purification of intermediate is important one, otherwise impurities will be present in the intermediate will incorporated in the final product. Usually side reactions occur during the synthesis, so impurity of product side reaction occur in the substance. This may introduce new type of impurities due to contamination by reagent and solvent at the various stages of the process. These are described as below. The reagents employed in the process, reagent added to remove other impurities, solvent, action of solvent, and reagents on reaction vessels. The solvents are used. Water is the cheapest solvent available and has been wherever possible. Like tap water, these are in small amount. Softened water, it will be obtained by allowing tap water to pass through the sodium form of zeolite, which removes divalent cation like calcium and magnesium. The demineralized water, it was prepared by passing the tap water through column packed with the ion exchange resin. Then distilled water. It is considered the best, but it is very costly. Reagents in the manufacturing processes like soluble alkali in calcium carbonate arise from sodium carbonate. Calcium carbonate obtained by interaction is soluble calcium salt and soluble carbonate. The product contains trace of soluble alkali which washing process has failed to remove. Means the calcium carbonate when obtained by interaction, then the washing process is failed to remove those things. The reagents added to remove other impurities. Example for this, when potassium bromide contain traces of barium which added in the manufacturing process to remove the excess quantity of sulfate. Thanks a lot